jobs because when you come to America legally, you have to buy an airline ticket. That's good for the airline. That creates jobs in the airline. When you have to buy winter clothes, that's good for the clothes industry. You have to buy food. That's good for the food industry. You have to get housing. That's good for the housing industry. Before you even start to work and find a job that so-called you're stealing from someone else, you've already created a job.
Yeah, and that's not a problem. Listen, like I said, legal immigration is a wonderful thing. Legal immigration, in a lot of ways, is the foundation to this country becoming the greatest country in the world. I mean, at the end of the day, it is important that we allow people who can benefit our economy in a positive manner. I think that the unfortunate part of that is that you also have on the flip side, you do have a lot of, greedy, corporatist types that want to basically take advantage of the visa system to go ahead and bring in a whole bunch of cheap labor from, let's say, Mexico or somewhere like that, when you have, over 90 million unemployed Americans still in this country, even though the numbers are getting better. You go ahead and bring in these people on a short-term work visa. After the job is done, there's no accountability for what happens to these people. That's why the Pew Institute for Research number of 11 million people here in this country illegally, supposedly, 40% of that number is people that are on expired visas. So I mean,
even those people that come in to do these low-paying jobs, they also create jobs because, like I just said, they have to buy food, they have to get shelter.
They send a lot of their money to their country.
And what do they can live with nothing?
They live with the bare minimum, and they send a lot of their money out to other countries. Let me tell you, and I'll tell you honestly, the city that I come from originally, I live in Paterson, New Jersey, was where I grew up. There are a lot of illegal immigrants there. I've known a lot of illegal immigrants. What they do is a lot of them will shack up together in like a one-bedroom place. There'll be like 6 or 7 people paying $100 a week in rent.
But they have to eat, right?
Yeah, but they don't eat much, and they send the majority. Well, listen, they send the majority of the money all over back to their country, and they don't pay taxes. That's a problem.
I agree with you. They need to pay taxes and they need to abide by the laws. But I just wanted to point out that economically, when the immigrant comes in, the first thing he starts to do is create jobs because he has to spend money. That's the first thing that happens.
We can have that argument, but the one thing is like this. All right, you guys want, if anybody, and I'm not saying that you do, but anybody who's a proponent of open borders should also be a proponent of no taxes. Because we have a finite taxation
I'm not a proponent of open borders.
Oh, no,
I just told you I agree with so many of the things you said.
No, I understand. I'm just saying. But we have a finite taxation system. There's only so many people that are paying into the system. If you have an open border situation, you have an infinite amount of people that may need services. You may have to hire more police, more firefighters, more teachers, and then you know that their pensions are out of control and they're funded by taxpayers. It grows our unfunded liabilities exponentially, but we're not getting that money back, and that's why the deficits and the debt are out of control.
Right. We have to limit the immigration to people that work and pay taxes and follow the rules. But they do create jobs. If not, there would be a lot of unemployed people because the whole country was created by immigrants. Our country, the United States of America, was built with immigrants, and each time an immigrant came, he had to do what I just said. He had to spend money on food, on shelter, on transportation, on clothes, and then he would find a job, and then but before he found that job, he already created one. In other words, if this country had stayed with 2 or 5 million people that were living here originally, it would still be poor. A lot of people coming does not take away jobs. It creates a greater, more prosperous...
It depends on the level of candidate that you're getting.
Right. People, we have our conditions, that they work, that they're not on welfare, that they pay their taxes. And what you said about not paying taxes, wow, that applies to half the population, working population of America.
That's the thing. We're already taking care of that many people. There's over 100 million people in this country that are on some semblance of an entitlement program. that is a disparity. That's actually one of the reasons why I believe, even if it's a minuscule amount, I mean, I believe I believe personally in a flat tax, but I believe that we should apply that to every economic demographic. I think that everybody should have
We
skin in the
agree
game.
on that as well.
Yeah, everybody
So,
should have skin in the game. That
right.
way, you know, if they're all participating in the system at a certain extent, to a certain level, then they'll understand how important things like securing the border actually are.
Yeah, I just wanted to examine the idea of the economics of immigrants. Doesn't have to be bad. In fact, historically,
Well,
has
legal
been
immigrants.
legal immigrants. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean,
it-
we have to make sure that we clearly define
well,
that there is a difference. I mean,
well,
there's
it-
immigrants and then there's invaders.
Yeah, but actually, even illegal immigrants also eat, as